You will have heard of the Vet of Wuhan. Madame Wei was keeping herself to herself during the outbreak. This was not hard for her. She generally kept herself to herself, and as a sane, small woman in her 80s, the rest of the city obliged her. She had been keeping herself to herself for 20 years, and this was no hardship for her. Madame Wei was not entirely alone, though. There was a chink in the shutters. In the 11th of those 20 years, she had acquired a cat. She did not precisely choose to own a cat. Her indifference to fellow beings was not restricted to humans. She was not the old woman who tucked stray cats under chins or threw dogs chicken bones. She was neither a cat person nor a dog person. She liked her books. She liked her daily walk. She liked her quiet, and she liked, as we have established, to be left alone. But 9 years ago, Madame Wei's quiet was shattered by an unfortunate outbreak in a block of flats. Not, as now, a new and deadly virus, but a traditional problem for cities, from Wuhan to London. The quiet was contravened by the scratch in the walls that became the unmistakable brown of rodent droppings upon her clean kitchen surfaces. Madame Wei was not happy about this intrusion. She set traps, and the mice would take the cheese and leave droppings. She was bothered enough to speak to her neighbour below, a slender young man who should have been married by now, a vet, Lao Mao. He was not her nearest neighbour, but she assessed correctly that he would offer the most expertise. Yes, Lao Mao squinted when he spoke to her. We've been experiencing an infestation. He was agreeably succinct and solemn. I've heard reports of their resistance to traps. I suggest you get a cat, madam. He bowed, almost imperceptibly. She did not approach the idea of a cat with sentimentality. As a woman who had chosen not to have children, she certainly did not want a ditzy kitten whining for attention. She left with a curt, "Thank you," and went about her business without anyone bothering her and without her bothering anyone, until a week later, when she saw a scurrying brown shape in her bedroom. Enough was enough. Madame Wei asked Lao Mao if he could get her a cat. A worker cat, not a pedigree, but one that could fend for itself and rid her home of mice. And dutifully, a few days later, Madame Wei was unpleasantly surprised by a knocking on her door. She assumed crossly that it was another parcel for next door who were never in, but it was the vet, with an ugly, sullen cat in a carrier. "Madame Wei," the vet said, I have a cat." "I see," said she, peering at the animal through plastic bars. "You still need to feed him," Lao Mao continued cautiously. "They cannot survive in the hunt, not in a block of flats." He gave a little laugh. "And," he added, emboldened by his act of gallantry in getting the cat in the first place, "and if you go away, I'll be happy to feed him." "Thank you," Madame Wei responded politely, though really she thought, where on earth does he think I'm going? The vet told this story to his assistant at work, whom he wondered about dating. She was kind about the story, although he reluctantly acknowledged it was a mediocre story in a mediocre life. It was not until late he had a real story, and the real courage to ask his assistant for dinner. The cat moved in that evening, and within hours he presented the corpse of a tiny mouse. There was no more scratching. The cat moved in, and the mice moved out, and over the years the unfathomable happened. Madame Wei and the cat developed feelings towards each other. He moved into her bed at night and slept curled up by the bend in her increasingly arthritic knees, and she, for her part, welcomed it. She looked forward to arriving home from her daily walk and him greeting her, found comfort in the weight of him on her lap when she sat and read. It is fair to say Madame Wei loved him. And if you'd like to know more, you'll have to buy the book.